This is Jagged Alliance 3. It is a turn-based tactical game in the vein of XCOM, though I'm not actually sure which franchise started first. Both of them have their roots in the 90s, and I'm not sure if XCOM came first or if Jagged Alliance came first. But either way, this franchise has been really interesting. It's had different developers working on it at different times in its history. Some of the entries are numbered, some of them are not, and it kind of has sort of an up and down pattern to it. It's basically a sort of wide sweeping kind of strategic game where you run a bunch of mercenaries, a bunch of teams of mercenaries all over some area on the map. It takes some time to travel from place to place. You have to pay their salaries. You have to manage their equipment. It's a very sort of nerdy management game for a group of mercenaries. It's got kind of a tongue-in-cheek sort of attitude towards the whole thing. And you can see down here, I've got my little team of 6 mercenaries that I put together in my first playthrough. And if I hit the continue button, you can sort of see where I am at the moment. So this is the overall satellite view map. I started on this tiny island, cleared this tiny island of the bad guys, and now I'm out here. And what I was in the middle of doing at the last time I played this game was I had done a distraction in this territory to pull some of the guards from this outpost out to come and fight me. So I could fight them first and then go and invade the outpost and defeat the rest of the garrison. There's all kinds of things like that you can do. The major enemy bases have these different little shields on them that tell you activities you can do to make it easier to defeat that base. And then over here you've got these blue areas, which are places you can sort of liberate, and then they help you. They'll provide you with places to rest, give your mercenaries more stamina and stuff like that. There's places where you can shop and get equipment, and there's places like, I believe right here, this is a diamond mine which constantly feeds money into my coffers. So like up here I have $20,000 right now. That is just barely enough to pay for if these guys' contracts run out. That is just barely enough money to get them back. So basically, whenever you're doing something in the world, whenever you're engaging in an operation, something like training a bunch of mercenaries or repairing a bunch of weapons, healing someone, that all takes time. Travel takes time. And each of your characters has got a contract where you've paid them for a certain number of days. And after that time passes, they're going away unless you can pay them again. And so this game has got like a big economic simulator going on top of the tactical simulator, where you have to not just win fights, you have to, be paying a lot of attention to all of your expenditures and your profits so that you can actually pay the teams that you're operating on the ground. Coalition asks, are the bad guys in this game certainly the bad guys, or does this game have some shades of gray to it? So yeah, this game has got, it's definitely, it's exploring a political arena that is fraught with peril. They're doing it with sort of a tongue-in-cheek, exaggerated, Expendables-like attitude, which kind of papers over some of it. But this is, largely a bunch of European mercenaries coming in to a fictional African nation to try to serve the desires of, I think it's like corporations that want to quell a revolution, or maybe there's some warlord that has taken over, and it seems like the warlord is a bad guy. But also, are you a good guy? Does that make you a good guy because the warlord's a bad guy? Not entirely clear. I think the game wants you to look at the whole thing as like, everybody's bad, but it's fun to shoot the guns. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Coalition is now encouraging me to commit war crimes, as he often does. There you go. So Peroxica says, when he says turn-based, that's something like Civilization, right? That's what it means to be turn-based, right? Yeah, so basically, it's actually different at the different layers in this game. So at the top layer here, what I've got is this little play button at the bottom. When I push play, time passes continuously until something happens, and it pauses, and I can make decisions. So that's like, so that's pausing real time on the satellite view. But once I actually zoom into the map, then it becomes real time as I'm running my characters around until fighting starts. And then once it's fighting, then it's like XCOM, where, I move one character at a time, the enemy moves one character at a time, and we're all sort of like taking our turns, and I can make certain number of moves on my turn before I have to stop and let the enemy have their turn. So that's what I'm talking about when I say turn-based. So real quick, I should be able to have a look at each of these. Can I look at these characters? I'm trying to remember if we can examine our characters here. Merc info. Here we go. So these are the characters that I've got on my team. This is Bobby Steroid Guntarski. Actually, I should probably move my head down here so you can see the names. Bobby Guntarski is basically an 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger parody. Helmut Grunther, he is another German guy. He plays kind of like a psychotic hitman type. Michael Dawson is sort of the wet behind the ears, intimidated by battle medic. Kalina Sokolova is a superstitious Russian who kind of believes in, like, folk magic. Monica Bun Sondergaard is just a hyper-competent sniper. And Barry Unger is a psychotic bomber. So all of them have these sort of, like, comedic, exaggerated personas. But they also all have, like, a really clear role in battle. You know, Barry, he's got a much higher explosives skill than anyone else. You know, Buns is a much better shot than most people. Kalina's also a good shot and a mechanic at the same time. She's a twofer. She's one of the first people I recruited because she could do two things at once. MD here, his medical skill is better than anyone else's. Helmet is a good all-rounder when it comes to combat. And Steroid, he's got really good marksmanship, and he is also a mechanic. So he and Kalina are actually pretty similar. I could probably drop one of them from the team and be okay, but they're adorable, and so I hold on to them anyway. And it helps to have numbers. Numbers aren't bad in a fight. Coalition asks, have you ever thought about how online arguments in comment sections are like turn-based combat? No, but now I want to put that in a video game. Somebody should make a turn-based tactical combat game, which is internet posts. That sounds amazing. I have nothing more to say about that. I have to think about that more offline. Anyway, okay, so you've got a sense for who I've got and where I am. So let's push the play button and let the enemy come to me. So they move in here, and now we have got a fight. So it looks like there's 3 enemies against my 6 mercenaries. This is going to be a cakewalk. In fact, I could auto-resolve it if I didn't want to fight. But, you know what? Let's get in there and see what happens. It'd be good to start me with an easy fight because I'm probably going to do a bad job at some point, and it's going to be embarrassing. So on this map, I choose where I deploy, but there's only one place to deploy, so it doesn't make a difference. The enemy's going to show up there. That's good to know. So let's put my people here where at least some of them can take cover and deploy. So the enemies show up there, but they don't see me immediately. So I'm hidden so that they can't see me, and I can move around until I find more of them. Okay, they're going to have cover, and I'm not. Let me make as much progress towards the cover as I can. Oh, they can see me. No! But Grunty has got a special ability, which is...
Please don't do it again.
Grunty has a special ability, which is he takes a shot whenever combat begins. So he just annihilated one guy, but I think he just damaged his... He just shot straight through MD. So that wasn't a good move. MD is in trouble. But one thing that I really don't love about this game is that I have not yet found a way for me to manually decide when turn-based combat starts. So I have to run around in that real-time mode that you saw where my characters were hidden, the enemies got exclamation points over their heads, and I'm basically stuck there. I can try to perform a turn-based action to start combat, but real time is happening while I'm queuing it up. And so if the beginnings of combat are often very, very awkward unless I'm putting tons and tons of care into my stealth, which I'm often not doing. So, you know, that's a little bit awkward. I do prefer games where there's just a button you can press and you're like, now we're in turn-based combat. I mean, the original Fallout did that in the 90s. I feel like that's something that we should have, but whatever. Okay, so let's have a look at Steroid here. Let's have him stand up, actually, and let's switch his gun out for a machete. Can I actually attack somebody with this machete right now? Let's charge this guy and smack him. Okay, I did smack him, but didn't do enough damage to kill him. So how many movement points? I've got 1 movement point left, so I'm going to duck down a little bit in case somebody wants to shoot over my head. Kalina can move over to the side. So this blue outline shows how far she can move and still shoot. However, in this game, unlike XCOM, there's actually a reason to move less. So let's not move her all the way out to the furthest reaches. Let's have her move a shorter distance like this. So she's not going to be shooting straight through Steroid and potentially hitting him. But if I have her shoot at the guy that Steroid hit, you can see she will use 7 of her 10 action points right now to take a shot at this guy. But if I right-click, I can have her spend an extra action point aiming, or another one, and you can see that this circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, one thing you'll note, they are not telling me what the percentage chance is that I'm going to hit. They've decided to only use this circle to roughly estimate how, like how accurate I'm being, but they don't tell me the percentages. They never tell me the odds. They tell me the odds of a crit, but that's it. And so that means that frustration that you get in XCOM where you're like, it said 90%, but it failed. How did that happen? Well, because sometimes you roll a 1 on a 10-sided die. But they just eliminate that altogether by just not telling you the number, which is certainly an approach. So if you aim for his head, that means that you have a lesser chance of hitting him, but you'll do more damage. Like you'll see that damage went way up, but significantly lower hit chance. But her hit chance is so high because she's aiming. I think she's got a good chance of making this shot. So I'm gonna aim it for the head. Whoa! Not only she hit that guy, she passed through and hit the guy behind him. So let's do Buns here. So Buns is just gonna stay put. She'll fire right at that guy. She'll aim as deep as she can, aim for his head. And she took him out. So yeah, cakewalk, like I said. But poor MD got shot. That was not part of the plan. So let's go out. I think nobody dropped anything, so there's nothing to scavenge. So let's go back out to the sat view. As soon as we go out to the sat view, that map just went away. It doesn't exist anymore. If I go back, it'll be empty of people, I'm pretty sure. But, so we could just go straight onto this attack, but MD is wounded, and that's garbage. Let's not do that. So let's treat wounds. Let's have ND do it himself, because he's the expert. So he's going to spend 10 of our meds. We got 36. 10 of our meds healing the wound that Steroid did. None of our guys took damage from the enemy. We only have hurt each other. So we're going to confirm that. So he is going to start healing himself.
I'll get right on it.
While he's doing that, though, we can do things with the other characters. We've got these other operations we can do. We could have the mercs train each other. We could have them repair their items. Now, repair is something that Steroid is particularly good at, and I think we should probably punish him because he's the one who did that damage. So he's gonna... Oh, yeah, see, he shot a bunch of holes through MD's bulletproof vest. So he should repair MD's vest. And we'll just repair everybody else's weapons while we're at it. We'll start that. And then everybody else, let's have Buns and Barry scout the area. We can find intel in the surrounding area, and then let's have these folks train each other in. I think is this health? Yeah. So Grunty's got a really high health score. Kalina's is not very high. So let's have Grunty train Kalina in health.
I am eager to start.
Okay. So now we've got a bunch of operations, and so now time is passing, and you'll see each of them. Each of the characters has got a little dial that fills up next to them. It shows how long it's going to take them to complete that action. Okay, so it looks like our attempt to gather intel worked just fine. So now more time is passing. You see MD is healing himself. Okay, and we finished scouting the area. And we finished repairing items. So now we're just going to wait until MD is finished healing himself. Okay, so now we're only halfway through Training Mercs. Training Mercs is an action that takes longer. And actually, if I was really smart, I would not have used that one because it takes a long time and now we have to wait for it. But that's okay. Seeing what happens when time passes is not really a bad thing. So we're going to watch these things slowly fill up while Grunty helps Kalina with her health. So her health is 64 right now. I think, wasn't it 63 before? Is she slowly gaining it over time? So another day has now passed. There, her health went up. Skills and health go up very, very slowly. I think the expectation is that you will actually spend, like, once you've got a larger mercenary organization, you'll have some mercenaries that are in their field and some mercenaries that are just back home training and resting up. And I think if that's how it works, then this makes sense. The slow progress makes sense because you can just do it indefinitely in the background. Okay, so it looks like this outpost has raised an assault squad to attack a nearby sector. I wonder if I can get in there fast enough to stop it. We should level up Kalina, though, before we do that. So when you level a character up, what you do is you choose a perk. Like, they've got skills, and I think their skills unlock particular perk chains here. So, for instance, I can make her critical of hits do more damage. I could enable crits when she does an interrupt attack. I could have her, sneak around and have enemies detect her more slowly. More damage against flanked enemies. Let's go with better crits, because I do have her sniping fairly often. So let's go with better crits. We'll confirm that. And now, let's say that our team is going to go over here. Okay, their assault squad hasn't left yet, I don't think. So they're going to stay there. And we're going to have to fight them, I think, alongside the defenders. So we drew some enemies out, but they also recruited more enemies. It ended up being a wash, but that's okay. By the way, I've not been paying attention to the chat. Before we get into the battle, I should see what other people are saying here. Okay, yeah. So some folks were thinking, when they looked at this this type of game, they were thinking that that maybe it was a Diablo style game. Which, I think there are. I mean, certainly when you're running around in real time, you haven't started a fight yet, and especially when you have one character who's just going to shoot randomly in the middle, as soon as the fight begins, it is a little bit like a Diablo game in that you're running around and stuff is just happening. But no, it definitely slows down to turn-based once you get started. So Eva Addison, who's a new viewer, came in and asked, "Are you a variety streamer?" Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I definitely don't stream one particular thing. I'm actually a developer. I'm a game developer at Undead Labs, and so I stream a lot of State of Decay 2 and talk a lot about State of Decay 2 because that is a game that I've worked on. But at the same time, I try to also, one of the ways I use this stream is I play a variety of different games as research, so I can learn what's going on elsewhere in the industry, and I discuss it with my chat so that we can sort of learn things from all these other games. So, okay, here we go. Let's fight and get started. All right, so again, I'm pretty sure that I've only got the one deployment zone, but because we did that scouting action, and because I've actually done several scouting actions in this area beforehand, we actually know a few things. So we know there's a place over here called Larry's Shack, probably irrelevant to the battle. There's a place here called the Ring, probably irrelevant. There's the Boom Tent, which, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with bombs. But the enemies are there. That's the most important thing for me to know in advance. So I think what that means is I'm going to want to advance carefully up this direction. I don't know if all the enemies are there. Sometimes there's enemies. There'll be a main place with enemies, and there'll be more enemies elsewhere. Like, if they had that assault squad could be somewhere else. But I think I'd like to get at least Buns and maybe Kalina up here so they can overwatch and snipe. And then sneak my others up here using these obstacles here as cover. Maybe bringing in... If I could bring somebody up this direction... there's explosive barrels. I have to keep those in mind. I could bring somebody up this direction, maybe, or to, flank them from behind, while some others attack here. But we'll have to start here either way. So, deploy. We'll hide everyone. And let's start advancing. Oh, okay. So they've got a sniper posted right there. Now, two of my characters have got suppressed weapons. Barry and Buns. So I'm going to sneak Barry up just a little bit. Wait. Okay. Crap. Why is he detecting me? Stop it. Okay. So, Barry's close in case I need him, but Buns is going to try to snipe this guy. Note, she doesn't have limited action points when we're not in turn-based combat. So it looks like her gun is good enough at piercing stuff that she's ignoring his armor. That's what this means. So we're going to shoot him in the head. And she critted, and she took him out without startling anybody else. So now, turn-based combat ended because there's no enemies left who are aware of me. Oh, wait. Somebody here's prowling. Okay, there's a bunch of them down there. Okay. Oh, wait. I don't know if I can go down this. I had assumed that I could, but maybe I can't. Okay, so there's a cook down there. Let's try to take him out. Nicely done. And again, nobody noticed. So let's bring her back here. Let's see if Barry can climb down this. I don't know if he can. No, okay, if I click down here, he tries to take the long way. So I can't flank on the right side. I can only come through here. So, all right, this is going to be fairly straightforward then. Okay, so from this position, she can see 4 guys. 5 guys. So this is a good sniper post. We'll leave her up here. And then we'll get Barry close first, because he might be able to kick this off without alerting anybody from down below. So the characters have some... The characters have some fun dialogue. However, you hear it a lot. Okay, so the question is, how many of these folks can we kill before they start noticing each other? Because they're all facing a lot of different directions. It may be that this guy is killable. Oh, crap. I gave him a new gun that wasn't suppressed. I forgot. Okay, never mind. I thought that was going to be stealthy, but it wasn't. Oh, okay, so the guy is coming really close now to Barry. Barry has used his moves, and so Barry's going to back up. Oh, crap, I forgot! So when there's a guy next to you, he gets a free attack when you try to escape. So, okay, I just wanted to get him out of the way so that when Grunty comes up here to shoot this guy, he's not going to hit his own friend. Wow, okay, this guy's got a lot of freaking hit points. Grunty's got a fancy machine gun, so I feel like he should have killed that guy. But whatever, let's do it again. There we go. Okay, so who can Buns see right now? She can see this guy, and this guy. So this guy seems like the one that other people are least likely to hit. Looks like, look, most of these, because he's behind cover, all of these parts of his body are actually blocked. I can't shoot them unless I think I can shoot through his cover, but it's a big rock, so I don't think I can. So I'm going to aim for his head. There we go. All right. She's an excellent sniper. So she could ignore his cover. But wasn't that cool, though, that they went body part by body part with what was covered so that Buns, as a sniper, could subvert the cover deliberately? Okay, so MD is not my best fighter. He's mostly here to patch people up. So we'll move him last. Steroid is going to move up here. And, oh, there's a new enemy I hadn't seen before. He's going to switch to his gun, but let's see here. Because he's used so much of his move, yeah, he could only aim once. So the chances of him killing this guy are pretty slim. Let's aim for his arms. Okay, good. We hit. We weren't gonna, I think we were not going to hit his head, but we hit his arm, and now he's going to have trouble shooting me. So let's leave him alone for now because he's an enemy that is going to have trouble hitting. He was a good enemy to have. I'm going to move MD up here. Now, if they shoot the explosive barrel, that'll be bad for MD, but I think they're probably not going to. I'm taking a risk there, but that's my suspicion. And then, whoops, and then Kalina. There isn't a great covered spot for her, so I think what I'm going to do is just have her lie down, make herself a smaller target, and then let's see if we can take out this Marauder. Nope. She's not a good shot, not as good a shot as Buns is, so that didn't work out. So the only person, so Kalina's got 1 action point left, Grunty's got 1 action point left. I don't think either of them can do anything, so we are going to end our turn and see what the enemy does. That guy's a grenadier. How worried should I be? Okay, he hit and suppressed him. Oh, okay, that gunner. Okay, I'll interpret what they all did in a second. Okay, so this guy has put himself in a position with his machine gun where he can take free shots at anybody who moves within this cone. And also, he's just going to be, because he's braced, he's better with his machine gun. So this guy is the most dangerous guy in the field. Though this guy, he's real close, and he's got grenades. That's also bad. I wonder, can I shoot the grenadier?
You know, get him.
I think I can. Let's try to shoot the grenadier with MD. Okay, he's wounded. Let's try it again. Oh, insufficient AP. Okay, can't do any more of that. Now, Buns is just outside the range of this guy. So I feel like her sniping him is probably a good idea. However, let's see if I can run Barry up. Let's run him up here. And then have him throw one of his grenades. So we can kill the gunner and also damage one of the other. Oh, I think this might be explosive. I'm not sure. Let's try this. So you can... you can miss with a grenade, but Barry doesn't because he's so good with explosives. So Apocalypse is guessing that maybe Kalina's not as good while prone. I think as a general rule, the characters are better at shooting while prone, but who knows? I mean, anything could be... I don't feel like I fully understand everything about this game yet. So, let's try to shoot this guy. Nice work, Kalina. And... okay, so now that means... what have we got? We got Steroid here, who I think... yeah, he's got very few action points because... he was suppressed by that machine gunner. The chance of him hitting anything, pretty slim. So let's just take a shot, but... oh! We were lucky. So Buns doesn't have a line of sight on that Marauder. What about Grunty? Can Grunty get him?
Like Mother always says, it's a tactical situation. Have a very good chance to show this person a very bad time.
All right, let's have him give this a try. Let's aim for the head. He's firing wildly enough that the headshot didn't really matter, but that's fine. Okay, so now I think everyone except... wait, has MD... yes, MD moved. Okay, wait, if Buns moves over slightly to the side, she can't aim as much because she used her action points, but... yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, that didn't look like she hit, but she did.
No more enemy.
What was that? Okay, poor Barry, man. Ooh, a chipped sapphire. Okay, so now we go around the battlefield, salvage what we can. Barry, you're not salvaging anything. Let's have Steroid, who's a good mechanic, come down here to salvage parts from this generator. And then loot this guy. He's got multiple dead bodies with pants. Yay, pants. What else have we got? So there's a guy over here we can examine. There's a letter on the body. Charlotte, my love, they told me if I prove myself, they'll take me in the Legion. I'll soon be able to provide for us and marry you, as I've always dreamed. So it looks like this guy was killed in some kind of death sport, which is cool. Okay, so let's grab this thing. What's this? Yeah, so I've got a high mechanical skill and a lockpick with Steroid, I think. So he should be able to pick the lock on this bag. And then loot it for... ooh, a lens. Okay, that's something that can help us... 2 lenses. That can help us upgrade our weapons. We've got parts that help us upgrade our weapons. And we've got night vision goggles, which I guess are useful. Okay, cool. I haven't used them yet, but I'm sure they're great. So yeah, so this entire area is probably full of just random little things for me to scavenge. Here we go. Oh, there's a hackable device in here. Let's hack it. Oh, we got some money. That's useful. Only plays for like a day or two of a mercenary's time. Ooh. So this is an object that is trapped. So we actually want Barry to come over here because he's the explosives expert. If I have Steroid do it, Steroid might cause some problems. Ooh, mechanical failure? And Barry was zapped by the shelf. Okay, we'll have to... all right, here we go. MD. Let's go heal. Let's go heal Barry. Poor Barry, just nothing's going right for the guy. So while he's healing Barry, there was a place up here. Oh, this is just full of explosive barrels. So if we wanted to do a distraction, we could have blown that up, actually. Attracted enemies over there. Okay, Barry. Let's loot this. Ooh, a Beretta 92F. I think that's a better pistol than 18 damage versus... Oh, 15 damage. Nope, this is a worse pistol. Oh, no, but it's got a higher crit chance. So this might be a good backup pistol for one of my... Yeah, maybe Buns would rather have this pistol. So this is 15 damage and 14 range. This is 15 damage and 20 range. Nope, her pistols are better. This is a pistol I probably won't use very much. Fine. But we've got a tube, which is, again, good for some weapon upgrades. And now I guess we'll have MD talk to Larry.
Man, like a dozer in kindergarten. I mean...
Okay, whatever. What's he trying to do?
That's okay, man.
Okay, so I don't know quite what this guy is trying to tell me. He seems drunk. Or something.
Man.
So I'm going to compliment his art.
Wow. Finally someone to appreciate it.
So who are you?
Oh, man.
You don't know your name?
I know my name. Those jerks in the camp call me Hey Weirdo.
Okay. You have amnesia.
What kind of drugs have you taken? This sounds like amnesia.
What have you snorted?
Wow. It was some cheap mix I got at the... Gave me a shot at something.
There is a valuable life lesson
Wish
somewhere.
there was some magic pill to clear my head.
Okay, so for some reason we have got so this guy apparently is suffering from some amnesia because he's got he took some drugs that he shouldn't have taken, and so we apparently have got in our inventory somewhere the thing that he needs. I forgot why, but we'll give it to him.
Is that it? The actual shit?
Oh, wow. Look at all the track marks.
Okay, so now do you remember whatever we're trying to get him to remember?
Yeah. I guess. Oh, I feel so alive, man.
Okay, so he knows
Terrified as hell. No.
about something called Diamond Red.
I imagine they know.
Anyway, I was already drugged.
Okay, so we've got some intel for a place called Diamond Red in A2 on the satellite map.
We had a deal with those communist guys.
Okay, and he had intel for Pantagruel downtown, but we already had it. So,
Let's go, man. I got a score to settle with these Legion dudes.
Good to have one more pair of hands.
Tiny
Wait.
hands make quick work, right?
did I just recruit him? I think I just accidentally recruited Larry. Okay, so Larry has showed up. So I think your squad has got a maximum size. So yeah, I've already got a full squad, but now I've got Larry here, who's on his own squad with his football helmet. And what skills does this guy have? Leadership, almost nothing. Oh, he's an explosives expert too. So now I've got a backup explosives expert. And he is not listing a price. Everybody else here has got a salary I have to pay per day. Larry is not listing one. Is he a free merc? Or did they just give him to us free for a short amount of time? I'm really not sure. By the way,
I guess.
whenever I select MD,
MD present. Michael here.
he often says Michael here, and I'm wondering if that's a Vsauce reference. If because his first name is Michael, they had him say Michael here to remind you of Vsauce. I don't know. In any case, okay, we've completed this area. We've knocked it out. So now if we go out to the satellite view,
Major, we got the new
Huh?
He will regret disappointing you, boss.
Doubtful. I'm pretty sure it'll be the exact opposite.
Okay, so I'm listening into enemy communications here.
Do not worry, boss. Diamond Red can break anyone.
Okay, so they're trying to set up Diamond Red as this place or person that I need to deal with. I think up here. Okay, so there's some kind of... Okay, so there's a diamond mine up here. So I think this is what they're talking about. Up here, there's a diamond mine, which can start feeding into my income and make me a bunch of money. If I can get up there and claim it. But there's a lot of enemies between me and there. And so what I probably want to do is first go after liberating Pantagruel, take over this repair shop, and there's a diamond shipment coming down. Maybe I can intercept this diamond shipment and then go up here and take the diamond mine. But here's something that's really interesting about this is the fact that, so, if there are a lot of turn-based tactical games that just are sort of leading you through a fairly linear series of events, right? Because, like, what was the one that I played recently? It's by the people who made Mutant Year Zero. I can't think of the name now because I'm an idiot. But that game, it's got almost like a not really Metroidvania, but that sort of pattern where you're unlocking parts of the level one at a time by completing missions, and you've got side missions. But by and large, the developers know what golden path you're going to take, and they can like escalate the difficulty and the introduction of new enemies and stuff based on their knowledge of the order in which you're going to tackle things. And in XCOM, they're procedurally generating the missions, but they're feeding them to you in a certain order. You can mess one up, you can skip one sometimes, but you're basically going to be facing the missions in the order that they present them to you in. You have some control, especially in XCOM 2, you have some control over what you go after first, second, and third, but by and large, they're not going to reveal missions to you until you've done other things. This game has also got some stuff where, they reveal certain things at certain times, and they're cautious about it, but you feel like you've got a lot of control. I can decide if I want to go up here and chase this down if I want to, or, I might be able to just start invading this coast. I've already got some intel about I-10. There's something on I-10 that I could probably grab, but I've got a seaport right here. I could go down to Fleetown, start exploring this coastline if I want to, take over, is this another diamond mine? I could take over this seaport. I think I'm inclined to come up here because that's where they're sort of the direction they're pointing me, and it seems like there's a lot of opportunities to get in trouble up here and make a lot of money. So I'm deciding that I'm going to go up here as my next phase, but it isn't what I have to do. You can see this entire map. I mean, it's bigger than has even been revealed here, I think, unless no, maybe not. Maybe this is all of it, but still, it's like there's just a lot of different directions that I can go. And there's strategic things happening. Like you saw, there was an assault squad brewing here. If I'd left them alone, they would have gone to attack one of my other holdings. And I've got mercenary militia trained here. I left some people there on purpose doing an operation to train this militia so they could defend themselves if they got attacked. If I hadn't done that, the enemy could go over, take this place over, and then I have to go and recapture it. So there's just a lot of strategic stuff going on at the higher level of this game, at the same time that there's the tactical stuff going on the ground, and the storytelling stuff that's going on down on the ground. Miasma Chronicles! Thank you, Coalition. That was the game I was trying to think of before. Thank you very much. Anyway, so I don't think it makes sense to just keep playing this game long term. This is a very, very long game, and so it seems like there's just a lot of stuff to get through. But I feel like I've probably given you a grounding at least in what this game is about and roughly how it works. This is still fairly early game stuff. I think there's going to be much more big and elaborate set pieces in the future. But there have been some really interesting things that I haven't shown you yet. Like some of these areas, like this area right here, for instance. This is a mansion. Owned by a rich person, and it's got an underground area. And so, like, finding out what was going on in that underground area is a thing that we could do. And so, so some of this stuff, there's more dimensions to it than just there's this number of grid squares on the map. There's a lot of different things going on in this world. And so, anyway, I just really wanted to share this with you folks so that you can see what it was, because, the Jagged Alliance name it's been used for a lot of different things, and so whenever I hear it, I'm dead certain what kind of game I'm getting into. I usually want to try them out because I love turn-based tactical games, but I just didn't know up front if this was going to be the kind of Jagged Alliance that I was going to want to play. But it absolutely is. This is a sort of return to form for the franchise that really does the stuff you want out of a Jagged Alliance game. So Niseg is a first-time chatter who's just showed up and says, I'm playing this game for the third time now, trying new mercs and stuff. Okay, yeah, you've definitely... I play such a variety of games that I have not been able to devote the time you're talking about to this game yet. But, so, Niseg, I'm curious, about how long does it take to, like, get to the end of this game? And do you need to do everything on every grid square to feel like you've gotten to the end? Or can you sort of rush it? Because I genuinely don't know how to give people, because I'm still fairly early on myself, I don't know how to give people a good sense of how much game is actually here. Because for me, there's been, some, discussion on Twitter or whatever it's called now, about, I think, I follow Gary Whitta, and he's been getting into some arguments with people about, how long games ought to be. And for me, I actually sometimes prefer a game not to be that long because I like to play such a variety of games. It's disappointing to me that sometimes if I only have a few hours to spend on a game, I'll feel like I've barely scratched the surface of it. So I'm kind of almost hoping that Niseg says it doesn't take that long to get to the end. Oh, so Niseg says 45 hours, I think, but I'm not a completionist. Okay, there you go. So if you're looking for a sense of scale, Niseg did not try to do every single thing you can do on the map and beat it in about 45 hours. So that is freaking respectable for a video game. So there you go. If that's the kind of question you'd like to raise. Personally, like, I doubt I'll ever get to the end because there's so many other games I want to play right now, but I'm really glad that I bought this, and I'm really glad that I've spent the time on it to sort of learn it as far as I can, and I at least want to go and see what's going on up here in the north. So I will be coming back to this game, though not necessarily on the stream. Oh, before I go, Ranathcord asked a question that I wanted to answer. He asks, can your people get injured and be unusable for a little bit like XCOM? So your people can get injured. Actually, that's what happened. Here, I'll show you the game again. That's what happened to Barry. You can see that Barry's health bar, normally it's all full with blue, but it's got this gray shrunken section here. This represents his injuries. And so that's what I need to do. Like when I do an operation where I have, MD spend some time healing Barry, that's what I'm doing, is as I'm having him spend time like recovering from those injuries. So it's not that they get injured and they have to be put out of action and they're incapable of coming on the road. They absolutely can. You can get Barry down to 1 pixel of health and everything else is injuries, and you can still bring him on the road. It's just a bad idea to do that because 1 hit and he's going to die. And so you want to spend your time healing them between battles and stuff like that so that you don't get into that situation. Anyway, so let's wrap up this YouTube video. And, oh wait, I forgot to put the bar up. That was weird. That's going to mess up my entire deal. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. And then I think I'll probably get out of here. I don't know. We'll talk about it.